We're starting to get a lot of fun things. I mean, they're just ridiculous, but they're kind of fun. Washington Post. Maybe we should take a shot at his bronze stars.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. Bronze stars, like those Hegseth earned, are common among military officers. It's like, who doesn't have one? Military experts say there's a mistaken belief among much of the American public that the Bronze Star is a rarefied award exclusively for battlefield heroics, which has distorted and inflated its significance in many cases. The U.S. military issues two versions of the award, one with a V device denoting valor in combat, the other for commendable job performance or deployments, or meritorious service in the military parlance. The Bronze Stars listed in Hegseth's official records fall into the latter category. According to his official records, such awards were issued somewhat liberally throughout the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, experts say. Awardees of the Meritorious Service Medal are predominantly military officers like Hegseth, data provided by the military shows. While many officers have risked their lives on the battlefield, the majority of fighting and exposure to danger is performed by the enlisted troops they command. Blah, 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 going on to shit all over his Bronze Star and tell us that we shouldn't admire him for his service or his commendations.
Doubtless written by some Ivy League grad with soft hands
Yes.
who has never seen anything resembling combat, let alone military service. Okay, sure. That's disgusting. And the one thing I'll say about Pete Hegseth, too, is that you know, I read the op-ed that he wrote in his defense in the Journal the other day, and I thought it was really good. He talks about being an advocate for his fellow service members who, when you get home and you try going through a VA system, it is a nightmare.
Yep.
He doesn't ever brag about his exploits. I don't know what he did or didn't do. I don't really know what he saw or didn't see, which says to me he saw a lot.
That's absolutely right. And that's honestly why he says he was drinking. And that's not unusual.
Completely understandable.
Dakota Meyer was on this show telling me he was drunk as he was awarded the Medal of Honor by Barack Obama.
I believe it.
That he was completely hammered in the moment. These guys go through a lot. And I feel like who are we to judge if they want to drown their sorrows in the bottom of a beer bottle for a while? He is not doing that now. And there's not even an accusation. It's just more like, oh, well, I smelled whiskey on him one time on Fox News' set by some anonymous person. Well, who? Because all the Fox and Friends anchors that he did the news with say, that's a load of crap. That didn't happen. But wait, as you mentioned Pete's service and like, what did he do? So he volunteered to go to Gitmo, which he did. He volunteered to go to Iraq, which he did. He volunteered to go to Afghanistan, which he did. And the New York Times, The Daily podcast, did an in-depth look at some of that military service. And this is how they described Pete. I think this is his Iraq service. Take a listen.
He volunteers and he joins the 101st Airborne Division as a infantry platoon leader, and he goes to Iraq. The infantry troops that are on the ground like him, they're supposed to fix it. And he realizes how difficult that's going to be because he's getting some very conflicting instructions. So lawyers in the Army who are giving a briefing to him and all the soldiers that he's arriving with tell him essentially, hey, look, the rules are very strict. You cannot fire on an Iraqi, even if you see them with a rocket launcher, unless that rocket launcher is actually pointed at you. On the other side is some of the leadership in his brigade, combat commanders who are saying, you should expect to fire on pretty much any military-aged male, and you don't even need to give warning shots. He's like, okay, we're just going to be really careful. We don't want to shoot anyone we don't need to, because that's just going to make us so many more enemies in a war that we're trying to end. And so not only did he tell his soldiers, hey, we're not going to shoot unless we're sure, but he volunteered to be the first one through the door on raids they would go on because he didn't want to put that really difficult decision in the hands of some 21, 22-year-old soldier who might make a rash decision. And people who served with him that I interviewed say he was flawless, careful, cared about what he did, and his soldiers loved him for it.
I heard that episode of The Daily. I don't listen often, but I listened to that one, and that shocked me. I was like, okay, this is a corporate media that's trying to right itself, post-election, because everybody sees what's going on over at MSNBC. I don't even think Joe and Mika were on this morning. I didn't see them.
After they lashed out at all their Democratic friends like David Frum and George Conway, suddenly they were gone.
Mm-hmm. And I'm listening to this with like my jaw open. Like, oh my God, they're giving a sympathetic take on a guy who served in combat who got two distinctly different orders from higher ups. Shoot to kill, let them go, no matter what kind of threat you think they pose, and who put himself in harm's way to protect his younger service members who were about to ruin their lives if they made the wrong move while fighting to stay alive. That is a guy to laud. And I wonder where the rest of the media is in not following the Daily's example.
Yeah.
Of
like the
covering this
Washington
guy.
Post, instead of shitting on his bronze medals, why don't we talk about that Washington Post? Follow your New York Times. And honestly, I hope that Joni Ernst and Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski and Mitch McConnell will listen to that story. We don't give a shit about his marital issues. We don't. That is for Pete and his wives to deal with, and they have. I care about that. I'm sure the enlisted guys care about that. I don't like, it's the media that is like, look over here, these delicious bones for you to chew on. And all of these left-wing reporters and left-leaning senators are like, oh yeah, I want to chew on the bone. The bone feels good. It makes me feel morally superior. It makes me feel like a better person. Like I'm a protector. I'm going to be a protector of what? Pete's third wife? She doesn't need your protection. She's good. Right?
It's just amazing how they're going to town on this guy, like absolute freaking town. And we are hearing crickets about Hunter Biden.
You know how much my family and I love our dogs, right? Even Strudwick, cannot imagine life without them. Usually don't imagine life without them. They have a great life, but some dogs are not so lucky. This is why I'm super glad to tell you about Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. They have rescued thousands of dogs, plus cats and horses too. And they provide all the animals with shelter, safety, and most of all, love. They've been doing it now for more than 45 years. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to stay open, and giving can bring tax benefits to you too. Speak with your estate planner about how you can grow your estate while helping animals in need. And check out the estate planning tab on their website to learn more. We love our Thunder and Strudwick, but would like other dogs who need love to find it too. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.